You feel the cold, fluorescent light over the ticket counters, the dragging echo of rolling suitcases, and the distant voice of the gate announcements. You look down at your boarding pass. It says Terminal 2, but the big digital sign out front says all departures for your flight are at Terminal 4. Your stomach drops. You can already hear the final boarding call in your head. Breathe. This is fixable more often than you think if you act fast and stay.
If your flight happens to be canceled or delayed, Compensair will help you get compensation for the inconvenience and get your money back without wasting time on red tape. Get a refund for your canceled flight right.
Stay calm. Start by stopping where you are and doing 3 quick checks. Flight time on your boarding pass and airline app, the gate and terminal listed on the departure board, and whether the airline has sent an updated gate message by text or email. If the app says the same terminal as your boarding pass, you've likely misread the airport signs. If the app shows a different terminal or a gate change, that's the real authority. On your phone, open the airline app right away and refresh the flight status twice. One refresh in case of a delayed network update, and a second to be sure.
If you're at home before you leave, use these preparation steps so you never find yourself stranded. Confirm terminal and gate on the airline app the morning of travel. Build an extra buffer. Plan to arrive at the airport at least 90 minutes before domestic flights and 2.5 hours for international if you're unfamiliar with the airport. And check the airport map for inter-terminal transit times. If your itinerary requires changing terminals, look up the airport's inter-terminal train, shuttle, or walking time and add it to your schedule. Print or screenshot the terminal map on your phone so you can navigate fast. Why do terminals move or look confusing? Airports are like a busy train station where platforms get reassigned to keep traffic moving. Terminals are reused and gates get swapped when airlines reassign aircraft or when late arrivals force reshuffles. Think of it like a restaurant rearranging tables at rush hour. The host moves your reservation to a different room so the kitchen can keep serving everyone. The airline and airport aim to keep the whole system moving, not to punish you for being momentarily lost. Now the practical timeline and risks. If you're on the wrong terminal, and the boarding time is more than 30 minutes away, you have a reasonable chance of making it if transfer time between terminals is under 20 minutes. If the boarding call is within 20-30 minutes and you're more than 10-15 minutes of transit away, the risk of missing the flight becomes high. Worst case scenarios: if you miss your flight and you're marked as a no-show, the airline may cancel any onward connections, and you could lose the refundable value on certain tickets. Cost ranges. A short airport shuttle or internal train is usually free to $10. A taxi or ride share between terminals at larger airports typically costs $15.60, depending on city and distance. Same-day rebooking fees vary wildly. $0 to $200 for many domestic carriers if you're eligible, or $200,800 if you must buy a new one-way ticket at last minute on a different airline. Here are the exact actions to take in order so you spend the least money and lose the least time. 1. Stop and confirm the facts: time, gate, terminal, and whether the flight is delayed. Use the departure boards and the airline app. Don't assume a printed boarding pass is the final authority. Gate assignments change in real time. 2. Call or message the airline immediately and use their app to look for same-day rebook options. Many carriers let you join a same-day standby or rebook through the app for a fee or for free, depending on fare class.
Even if you can't reach an agent on the phone, a quick app rebook or chat can hold you a spot on the next flight. 3. If the app shows a gate change to a different terminal, switch terminals fast but safely. Run only if you're fit and have a carry-on only. Otherwise, prioritize getting to the airline desk at the new terminal. Make sure you don't forget checked luggage. If it's checked and already on the way to the original terminal, tell the agent immediately. 4. If time is tight, go straight to the airline customer service desk at the terminal where the flight is now boarding, or to the departure gate. Gate agents have the authority to hold a flight for minutes in extreme cases, but they won't delay indefinitely. Tell them you are en route and ask if they can place you on standby if you miss the current flight.
5. Consider interterminal transport choices. Walking may be fastest at compact airports. Automated people movers are fastest at large airports, but may include a short wait. Taxis or rideshares beat shuttles for speed at some hubs, but cost more. Always check the real-world time. If the people mover leaves every 10 minutes and boarding starts in 15, a taxi may actually be the practical choice. 6. If your check-in status is already gone and you have checked bags, accept that the bags may go without you. Ask the agent to flag and intercept them if possible. Sometimes agents can pull bags before they load. If bags go, you'll need to file a delayed baggage report at the airline desk. That's unpleasant, but it's repairable. 7. If the airline cannot rebook you without a fee, ask for alternatives. Stand by for the next flight on the same carrier, reaccommodation on a partner airline, or a refund or waiver if the airline caused the terminal change. Remember, if the airline changed your gate or terminal after you checked in, many carriers will waive change fees. Ask specifically for a fee waiver because of the airline's reassignment. A short, honest analogy. Missing a flight because of the wrong terminal is like arriving at a theater for a sold-out show and finding the box office moved across the street. You can sprint, call ahead, and sometimes the theater will hold a ticket for you at the new box office, but sometimes you'll buy a new ticket. The faster and more directly you communicate with the people who control the seats, the better your chance of keeping yours. Now, the cheapest, safest solution I recommend: call or use the airline app the moment you notice the terminal issue. If you're more than 20 minutes away from the actual terminal and boarding is imminent, take a taxi or rideshare instead of waiting for a slow shuttle. The extra $20.40 is usually cheaper than losing your ticket. If you can still make it with public people mover and walking, and you have carry-on only, do that. If you have checked luggage and time is tight, prioritize talking to the agent. Checked bags are often separated and can be rerouted if you get rebooked before the bag loads onto the aircraft. Many useful links can be found in the description. A few precise numbers and examples to keep in your head. At large U.S. hubs, internal people movers often take 8-12 minutes per transfer plus wait. Taxis vary by city. For example, $25.45 in mid-size U.S. cities, $45.80 in major metro airports. Same-day change fees. Many legacy carriers charge $75,200 on discount economy fares, unless they've updated policy. Low-cost carriers often sell only standby or insist on buying a new seat. If your ticket is refundable, or you hold a flexible fare, or a status/certain credit card protections, you can often change for free or at minimal cost. Now, the hidden fee and the booking site trick to watch out for. Some third-party booking sites will mark you as a no-show faster than the airline and will deny free rebooking or refunds because they claim you missed the flight due to your actions. If you booked through an online travel agency, OTA, like that, contact the airline directly with your booking reference and insist they treat you as the passenger of record.
The airline's systems override third-party claims for gate reassignments.
Also be wary of airline prompts to buy guaranteed connection or terminal transfer insurance at checkout. They often cost $10.40 and have narrow conditions. The specific upsell to refuse. The premium same-day change guarantee is frequently priced higher than the cost of a last-minute taxi and often excludes low-cost fares. Say no. Call the airline directly and ask for a manual rebook or standby instead. How to refuse or avoid these traps in plain language. If an OTA or an upsell is pushing a paid guarantee, tell them calmly that you want the airline to confirm your rebooking options first because the gate change came from the airline. If an agent tells you the only option is to buy a new ticket, ask to speak with a supervisor and to see the rule or fare condition that blocks a same-day change. Often, a polite, persistent question gets the waiver. Keep screenshots of the gate change, the boarding pass, and any texts for evidence. A final sanity checklist before you sprint. Wallet, ID, boarding pass, digital is fine, carry-on, phone charged, and clear directions to the correct terminal. Know whether you need security recheck at the new terminal. If you have med or mobility needs, tell the agent. They can sometimes move you faster. If you miss the flight, stay calm at the rebooking desk. Don't accept the first high-priced option without asking for alternatives or fee waivers. If this helped, hit like and subscribe for quick airport hacks and honest travel fixes. Close with what to remember. The clock is your enemy, and communication is your power. Confirm, contact, and choose the fastest, reliable transport. Sometimes that's a $30 taxi, sometimes a 10-minute people mover. Ask for fee waivers when the airline caused the change, refuse costly third-party guarantees, and keep proof of the gate or terminal reassignment. You can't fix every last-minute change, but with the right steps, you can usually save your seat, or at least limit the cost. If you found this useful, please like and subscribe so you'll see more checks and tricks for travel emergencies. Safe travels.